Hi, thanks for joining me today. Hope you are well and safe and having a great day. This video is in two parts actually. This is part one, and I take a detailed look at the whole thought process of coming up with the idea for a painting right through to this finished piece here. So basically, I'm going to talk about what gave me the idea to do the painting. In this particular case, I didn't see a scene and take a picture and think, I'm going to paint that. That is perfect. This was getting up, sort of thinking, what could I paint today? I've got no idea. And then thinking about what's happened to me over the weekend and coming up with an idea, and then sourcing the materials and coming up with the concepts, and then looking at what am I going to do as a watercolor, am I going to do it as a oil painting. And so you'll see the whole process in real time as I'm making the decisions and the thoughts through to this finished piece, which is in actual fact mixed media acrylic in Rebel 4. Now if you haven't got Rebel 4, don't let that put you off, because you could paint this in any app. You could paint it in Critter, you could paint it in Procreate or Artset Pro or Realistic Paint Studio. It doesn't matter. You can, paint whatever you want in any app you want. This is all about the process of coming up with an idea, and then all the stages that go through to making it a finished piece. Because I didn't have a photo that I took or a scene, I had to think about it a little bit deeper and think about lights and darks and decide about all these lights things here that's going off. So the first part of the video goes through the process of coming up with a concept, sourcing the materials, and producing a charcoal sketch for a finished painting. The second video will be me doing this painting. So that's quite a long intro. Let's just get straight into the process. Special K and I've just got a new dining table in the garden, and we wanted to christen it at the weekend, but it was raining. In fact, it wasn't just raining, there was a thunderstorm, and but we got a gazebo over the new table and chairs, so we decided to dine out in the thunderstorm, and we were treated to some absolutely epic skies. So I want to paint a sky scene today because of that, and I'm on Pixabay and I've just done a search for stormy clouds, and I'll put a link in the description for Pixabay if you've not used it before. It's a place where you can get images copyright free. They're in the public domain, and you can use them for sources for painting. And I've had a look through this already, and I've pretty much decided which one I'm going to go with. And I looked at this one first. I'm opening the links in a new window because I couldn't click back for some reason. My screen wasn't refreshing when I wanted to go to look at another image, so that's why. Now I looked at this one, I thought this is nice, but it's all done for you. I think they've got filters on there, putting this orange sky in, and then we've got this teal band in here, and all the work's done. So it's just a matter of sort of copying that scene in the sort of brush strokes that you like. So I've dismissed that one, but it might be somebody would want to have a go at that. And I was moving down a little bit, and I'm not sure I'd want to do the King Kong one. This one looks pretty interesting over here with the God rays coming through the clouds. That's a nice one. And you could use some of these skies. You could copy them and paste them on top of a scene that you've got. And I was thinking of doing that. But as I scroll down, where's the one I liked? Here's another one. Let's open this one up. Do it in a new tab actually. I really like this one. I like the sky isn't quite as nice actually, but I like the buildings, but they're all pretty much in silhouette. I thought we could do something here by throwing this wall and this wall and this wall of these buildings into bright sunlight and sort of really get a nice contrast there. So that could be one. Another one I like is where's it gone? This one. I like the sky of this. I prefer this sky. It's got more drama going off than this one, which is a little bit flat. Obviously, I'd have to work, make the colours fit in with this one. So I'm definitely I've decided I'm going to paint this one, and maybe I might use this sky. I'm going to download these. So I've logged in. That's me there, look. So clicking on the free download, and the 1920 by 1269 is plenty big enough for a reference image. I don't need, these are a little bit small and pixelated when you zoom in. This sort of third size down is plenty big enough. So I'm going to download that. Actually, I thought I might make a composite shot of this before I start painting. So I've double clicked on this image that I've downloaded and opened it in Affinity Photo. I'm going to bring my Explorer window over here and then just drag the second image onto the screen. Now you don't have to do this. Oops. You don't need to do this. I need then click this arrow tool to reposition that. Control and spacebar and roll the middle wheel, resize it. You don't need to do this, but it just makes it your life a little bit easier when you come into imagining the finished painting. So I've got that sky over. Let's just reposition that a little bit. In a bit. I've got this sky over that one. So how do I hide all of this material at the bottom? So first of all, I'm going to click on mask and create a new mask. And because I was positioned on the thunderstorm photo, it's positioned the mask there. If your mask comes in above it, just click on the mask with your left mouse button and drag that onto or underneath. Just let's do that again, just so you get a line in between the two, and let go, and then the mask will be in the right place and you'll see it indented slightly. Okay, then we come over here and we look for the gradient tool, and then I can just draw a gradient, and you can see as I drag that down we reveal more of the new sky we like and less of the old one. But if we keep going, we start to get the landscaping. So take it to about there and possibly just bring this down a little bit. Oh, maybe should we come a bit more? And just keep tweaking that till you get something you like. Quite like this light bit there, so I'm going to take that back up a little bit. So where the two merge in, the only problem we've got now is the skies are different colours. So again, click on your thunderstorm and look for the adjustment icon, which is next to the mask icon in the layer stack or the bottom of the layer stack, and choose, I think at this time we just choose recolor, just do a simple recolor on this. And oh, it's first of all, you can see it's recolored the all of the scene red. So just do what we did before. We grab that overlay and just position it between the two. Now we just got the red sky, and then I can tweak the hue, sliding it up there until I get something that I think blends in fairly well. I also want to change, this is like totally blue. almost like a posterized blue. So I'm going to change the blend mode to overlay. There we go. Lighten it up a bit. It's too dark, so we can see some of that cloud formation. Got it a little bit purple, perhaps. Let's just knock it back a bit. About there. Yeah, I mean, this is quick and dirty, and I bet photographers are watching this and going, "What are you doing, man?" But don't forget, this is just something to help us get a picture ready to paint. So we've got that nice sky in. So if we compare the two now, that's the original, which looks a little bit flat. It's nice and stormy, but it's a bit flat, and I think that gives us more drama. And we've got this angled line which takes you into the picture. So that's why I've put that sky on, and I quite like that. So I'm going to export that image, and this is the one I'm going to use to paint. I'll just export it as a JPEG. I've opened up Rebel, and I don't know if I'm going to do a watercolor or what. I just don't know if it's going to be oils, pastels, or whatever at this stage. I've not made up my mind. I could probably do a pastel sketch prior to an oil painting. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a pastel sketch to show you how just to see if it works out that the idea I've got with the lighting is going to work out. And then when I've done that, I can do an oil painting or a watercolor, whichever I decide. So this is now going to be a two-part video. I've just made that decision because I still wasn't really sure where I was going to go. So I need to be in portrait mode. So I'll click on this landscape mode. I will click on the landscape icon. I kind of like working at this A3 size. I think it's A3, 200 dots per inch. That seems to be a good size for me. I'll stick. Let's have a quick look at the papers. I think I'm going to go with hot press for the pastels. Let's try that. Yeah, and if I'm doing a pastel, should I go with a nice creamy colour paper? Let's choose it. I'm just going to choose one of these colours along here. And I'm going to choose the last one third to last one in the row. It's a nice warm yellow colour. Click OK. And OK again. That should be open up my hot pressed, which means it hasn't got a lot of grain. Which you might think, well, with pastels you do need a lot of grain. That's true with a pastel paper, but the watercolor paper, the grain is way too grainy. I'm just going to click on Windows Explorer, open up the folder with the image in. Cloudy storm. Here it is. Look, my composite shot. Just drag that into the reference image. So I've now got my reference image ready to go. And if you haven't got the reference image window open, you go to Window and click on Reference Image or Control R, and that will sort of toggle that on and off. Look, for those of you that are new to this. So there's my reference image. If I'm doing pastels, I don't need this tilt tool. I can just set the tilt off and move my reference image over there. If I move it right in, it might click into the tab. I don't want that. Just shrink it up a bit. I've got another monitor with a larger view of this image for me to work on. So let's just scroll this down. This is a kind of a nice workflow for coming up with ideas for paintings. There we are. That's lovely. I'm all ready to start painting. Wow, that's taken quite a long time to get to that stage. Now don't forget, although I'm painting this in Rebel, you can do this picture in any app you like, to be honest. You could do it in Critter. In fact, I was toying with the idea of doing it in Critter, and then I thought, no, Oops, wrong colour. I'm going to do the painting in Rebel, I think. So I've opened that up. I'm going to stick with it. That's my effort of a nice straight line. That's my horizon line. I sort of thought I'd pop that in first. See where we're going. And I'm using a 4B pencil. I just flip my stylus over. There we go. And I'm going to simplify this as well. So we've kind of got this bit of a foreground. This building here, the middle ground. Like that. These are the buildings are going to be the focal point here. Let's just zoom in a little bit. See what we're doing. So this is my preliminary piece. You know, at this stage, if you was working in Critter or Procreate or whatever, the experience would be pretty much exactly the same. The drawing experience. Okay, you'd have different looking menus and things. But the process of the drawing is exactly the same. Exactly the same. Problem is when I zoom in like this, I've got no real idea of scale, and that could cause me problems. Just tidy this up. So I have to keep zooming in and out. That's what I think. Worry about detail in a minute. I'm still toying with the idea of doing this monochrome, you know, just black and white, or adding colour. Just for the painting is obviously going to have colour in it, but I'm just thinking for this sketch, and definitely thinking it's going to be, I think, predominantly greys, blacks, and whites, and maybe just hints of colour on it. Might be quite nice. Already I'm getting impatient. This needs rubbing out here, because this building obviously goes right down to the waterfront. Sort of like that. I may even, when I've done this this sketch, I may even load this sketch straight in for the painting stage. There. This comes. I just need to zoom out and make sure I'm okay. Yeah, that's all right. People say, I see a lot of people having discussions in groups on Facebook and stuff asking a lot of people ask the question, am I all right to work off source photos that I haven't taken? Is that because, you know, some artists really frown on that, and how do you feel? Is it allowed? Is it not allowed? Well, my opinion is, for what it's worth, I guess, yeah, of course it's allowed. I have to say 90%, probably more than 90% of my work is from photos that I've taken myself, but not all the time, and I don't see a problem at all using images that you haven't taken, so long as you're not breaking copyright rules. You're taking images from a source where they're okay with you using that image for your own work, but still get permission off the artist, the photographer, to use those image and all that kind of thing. Don't go breaking rules. Don't use iconic photos as well that everybody's familiar with, because people will know that that's not your original work. And I always use photos as just a starting point for my paintings. They're not quite often, you'll probably be aware if you've watched any of my videos, the colours are never anything like what the photo is. It's totally different, and it's just a kicking point. And what happens if you're disabled, or you can't get out, or you want to paint a scene in an area where you haven't got access to? Maybe you want to paint a typical English scene and you live in I don't know, India or somewhere like that, and you haven't got the means to get to that scene that you want to paint. Should you then not ever paint it? You know, there are some absolutely awesome artists that you know, have disabilities and can't get out. So why shouldn't they work from source photos? To me, honestly, it's just hypocrisy, and it's, I don't know, probably going to cause a storm, this. Notice I'm doing these distant buildings just really loose, and because this is my sketch stage, and to be honest with you, they'll probably stay loose like that in the finished painting. But when I get closer to the edge, I do tend to stop putting detail in. What have I done here? This, I kind of seem to, really has gone very loose, hasn't it? That's because I'm talking so much. Do I need to put that building in there? I thought I had. I don't know what. Sometimes my looseness confuses me. It's just, that's nothing like it, is it? I've totally made that up. It's just made up. See what I'm saying? You use a photo as a starting point, and it's not the finished piece. So I don't think there's an issue with that, and I would happily exhibit this. Of course, it's always nice to get your own. I've moved it way too close to that, and it's too big. Let's just shrink this down a little bit, move it across there. That's it. It's kind of more like it. Once I start talking, I just lose total concentration on oops. We'll click back to my pencil tool. Yeah, there we go. Are we back in drawing mode? Yeah, we are. Yeah, so Go for it is what I'm saying. So I just got to take this bit out. This is all kind of wrong because I was talking. I was totally off on one then, wasn't I? I don't know what I was doing. I was just like I was drawing a different painting. Good stuff. Bit of a tree in there. I like this 4B pencil, I have to say. Now I can put this building in here. This is where this really goes. Lots of bushes around it. Got my clouds now, just popping them in. Do we have these God rays coming in there, maybe? Bellowing stormy clouds. We got caught in this rainstorm, a thunderstorm at the weekend. There was sat under our gazebo, and it was awesome. It was just listening to the thunder and watching the lightning. And then when it sort of died down, we got some really cool cloud formations. I didn't even have my phone with me. I left it in the house, so I didn't get any pictures or anything like that, unfortunately. Otherwise I wouldn't be having this discussion about using other people's photos. And if you do what I've done here, you know, you've actually created a different piece from the two original photos. So we're already in the before we even touch a paintbrush. That's wrong. Before we touch a paintbrush, we're in the creative process. And when I say paintbrush, I mean stylus. Keep this nice and loose. That's kind of sketched out. Let's get it saved. I need to switch over to charcoals. In fact, we've actually got them down. We've got them here on the pencil set, so I don't even have to charcoal soft. How's that going to work? That's nice big. I've got it 100%. Opacity is 100%. I want something a bit more defined. That's it. And I'm using really light strokes on here as well. Leaving some light. I can see it sort of going like that. I'm using the charcoal number 2 brush. I've got the size set at 100% and the opacity at 100%, and I'm just doing really light strokes. Look, just touching it lightly to get nice light effects, and big bolder strokes. See here, just pressing on much harder to get that full intense colour thing going off. So you may have noticed the last few weeks I've sort of changed the format of the channel slightly, where I am doing more detailed paintings. They're quite a bit longer, and I've cut the quantity down, so I'm just doing one a week now, but more detailed videos with a lot more going off in them. I was trying to explain more and slowing the process down a little bit. So I'm hoping you like that. If you make a comment in the comments how you feel about that might be useful going forward. This has given me, with these tones that I'm putting in, it's given me a real good idea of where I want to go with the painting, with the darks and the lights and things. I need a new layer because I want to be able to erase out of these buildings. Otherwise, it's just going to be really fiddly drawing. So, although I've got the sky on the same layer of the drawing, which was a mistake, of course, hopefully you'll remember to put your drawing on a different layer. Just create a new layer and continue. And I kind of want, let's get these cards right. That's it. Go to eraser, up the size a little bit, and then I can start cutting that out. Look, I just find that easier than trying to draw that going through there. That's that path. This building's going to come down here. I'm not going to leave this building this sort of light, but there we go. It's only the front of the buildings that are going to get really sharp lights. I think that was a bit too dark, and it was a bit too dark to control. So I'm going to take the opacity down to about 60% and just try that again. That's better, because I want to put some more darks on top of that. There we go. Just pop some verticals in. Water there. Verticals in. Those trees. Back it back up again. Oops. Post in there. That's a bit. I'm just turning the pen over when I'm using the eraser. So I'm liking how that's coming. Yeah. Let's create a new layer. because I am overlaying different things here, and I could take this opacity down again. We get some colour in it. I think we should. We've actually got pastels, haven't we, that we could use, but to be honest, I'm enjoying using these charcoals. I really like those, the feel of those, and I'm just wondering what this texture media does. I could make use of that, but I don't think I'm going to. I kind of like this sharp charcoal number 2, and let's get some bit of colour in. Just limited a bit. Now, I wonder what would happen if I multiply. Just try and I'm just messing about with the blend modes, and I'm just experimenting. Multiply. Good, I like that because it keeps these black shapes that I wanted. Adds a little bit of colour in the gaps somehow. I can mix this colour up. Put a bit of purple in there. Got some purple going off. I just know when I come to do the actual painting, I'm going to get something totally different. Just popping colour on here. I'm kind of already going off on one with the colour. It might be nice to put some of this in the buildings. Keep the fronts of those nice and sharp. Definitely down here. See how when I just put a brush stroke on, it keeps those blacks nice and black. There we are. There's some more blues. I would have liked a brush a little bit bigger. I want to fill in a lot of these gaps. So we've got this real storm thing happening. And I might come in with some, pick some highlights up. That's it. I want it to be really threatening and dark. It's like purple in there like that, look. Little light stroke there. Let's just echo this off in the water. I'm picking up some of the colours out of the sky to bring them into the water. And I just want to put that in shadow, that building, because I don't want this to be like, I don't want your eyes to be drawn to that corner at all, really. It's about these little buildings here. Zoom in on them now then. And I want to tidy it up just with the eraser. Just keep the fronts of the buildings nice and sharp. Little boat there, look, we've got going off. Now, oh, I missed a bit. What's going off? Let's just lift this bit out as well. Now, what's happening here? I think we've got this light area here is fighting these buildings here. So I just need to put something on that. So I'm going for a pink, a light pink. And just pop that in there, like that. And there as well. And now we've just got the buildings really popping, see? Clean up the tops of the buildings. Let's have them in bright sunlight. There should be, if I just pick that colour up there, well actually, pick the sky colour up. I'm using the Alt key, pressing the Alt key down to select the colour. And just pop that in there like that. That's cool. Maybe just pop a bit of an highlight in there. Highlight there like that. There. A few ripples on the water. Now don't forget we've got colour over the black layer. So when I'm putting these ripples in, it's not touching the black layer at all. It's just touching the coloured layer. And I want to, so this is all on a multiply layer, by the way. I just want to pick a dark green, really dark green, maybe towards the blue, and just pin a few trees in here. That'll do. Distant little swipe there. Could probably pop a few in around here as well. I use the square brackets to size the brush up and down. Pick this blue up, make it a bit darker. Put a few tiny little bits of detail in the buildings. Hopefully I can pick them out. Try and probably pop them in one stroke if I can. Maybe the odd tiny little window on there. On there. Maybe pop an undereaving on that. This building back here, we've totally lost that, but you know, it doesn't matter, does it? We're not copying. We don't want somebody to say we're copying their photo and it's not our original piece. Yeah. Finally, shall we go with almost white, creamy white? It's lighter than just a white, actually. Is it going to make any difference? I don't think it is, actually. Oh, let's create a new layer. We're in multiply mode. It might now. Yeah, there we go. We've got a white. We can pop some, really make it pop. A few railings in there. Maybe there too. Tidy it up a little bit. It's a bit messy. I keep whenever this wheel comes up, it's because I've touched the button on the side of the mouse, side of the stylus. There we go. How does this look? Oops. There we go. Stormy sky. Initial. I could make this blend layer actually lighten. I was going to say I finished, but I might just try something else. The pinky colour. Just lift that sky up a bit, look. So this blend mode is set to lighten. You can see it over here on the right hand side, and then that will just make your highlights pop a little bit. Just puts a little bit of detail under that stormy cloud. And even if I'd knock the opacity down a little bit, I'll take it down to 27%, 25%, something like that. Pick a brush and then just see what we can. don't like that quite as much. Got the opacity too low. That's better. You know what? I don't like that. I'm going to take that out. I think I like it just around this focal point, to be honest. There, that's it, finished. So that's the sketch before the actual painting. You can see I've really made the focal point around there. I've lost the detail in these buildings, and we've got this nice stormy sky going on. Still don't know if this is going to be a watercolour or an oil painting yet. If you haven't tried the charcoal pencils in Rebel, give them a go, because they're really good. They're really good. Just change back to 4B pencil and get it signed. Here we go. So that's part one. Join me next time, and we will be looking at the actual producing the painting from this sketch. It's not very often I work this way, but it's a good way of coming up with an idea. This morning I didn't have a clue what I was going to do, other than I started thinking about, I was sat in my studio. I could see the table where we sat and watched the thunderstorm, and then I thought, oh wow, stormy clouds. And then I know I haven't got any recent photos of clouds, so I went to Pixabay, grabbed a couple of images, came up with this composite shot, and I'm really excited about painting this now. So that, you know, if you're stuck for ideas, that's one way of overcoming that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, a big thumbs up as always is much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and don't forget, ding in the bell, and then you will get informed when I release part 2 of this video. Really hope you've all enjoyed it as much as I have. I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget, everybody, stay safe and stay sane in these trying times, and keep painting. Bye.